Hi, good morning. I'm just casually going for a walk across my garden with my chicken and my dog into my crochet bag. Who am I kidding? I'm not casual about anything, to be completely honest. I'm also incredibly tired because I got home at like 3 in the morning. But that's a whole other story. So this is my everything I knit and crochet in the month of May. Now May is the first month of winter here in New Zealand. This does not look like winter at all, so I'm making the most of it. Yes, Rocky, he's still doing his thing. Am I going to explain everything I knit and crochet in order? No, of course I'm not, because I am holding here my emotional support chicken. This is my emotional support chicken. There's a video up on my channel already about the emotional support chicken for Amiguru-May, because mostly what I've been doing this month is Amiguru-May projects and trying to post 30 different ones over the course of the whole month. Now that's been a challenge. I have had to resort to a couple of backups that were done before May, but that's okay. There were some that I started at the end of April knowing that May was going to be so entirely busy. Like, it has been so busy this month. Normally June is the busy month, but I think June might actually be less busy. I just jinxed it, didn't I? Anyway, emotional support chicken is the first thing that I'm holding up here. I made it because it's a viral project and I really like chickens and I really like knitting. This was a labor of something. It's a hard work project. It says beginner. It is not beginner. It's beginner in the fact that it is all knit stitches, but it doesn't have a lot of structure, so it's not going to sit up very nicely. Even when it's done, I didn't know when to stop knitting, to stop stuffing it. I may make another one and try and use a more structured yarn and a smaller needle and see what comes out. But this is my emotional support chicken. These little wobbly bits in his tail, that took so long because I kept misreading the pattern. It's all done with short rows. There's actually only 2 pieces. So the body, well, 3 pieces really. This gusset in the bottom, which gives it the round shape, the comb, and I didn't make the wattle. Now I didn't make the wattle mainly because my chickens don't really have visible wattles, and the little dangly, it's just not my cup of tea. Anyway, emotional support chicken. I will sit her down there. And then, what else is in my bag of mystery? Well, let's pull out the biggie. This is my book vest. I will release a pattern for the book vest. It'll be free. And I made Hamlet because it's one of my favourite Shakespearean plays. I'm quite obsessed with the play, to be completely honest. I've seen it at the Globe Theatre in London. I love it. I've directed it. I've performed in it. It's such a great play. I think Hamlet might have been my first crush, or Kenneth Branagh. It's hard to know, but I'm the weird child. Anyway, what did I think came out well on this? I think the text came out really well. I think that the penguin itself came out really well. I wore this to Booktown and Capital Yarn Fest because they were on the same weekend, and I had nothing but compliments the whole time. It was like I was attention seeking in my yarn projects. I was 100% attention seeking, let's be completely honest. I was about the attention. There are things I would change about it though. While I was knitting it, I was on a time crunch to get it finished in time for Capital Yarn Fest in Booktown, so I didn't bother to shape the shoulders as much as I should have. What I should have done is brought them in quite a bit more to fit around my armhole. And there's a couple of things I could do to remedy it. One, undo it. I'm probably not going to do that. Or I could knit sleeves onto it at some point. I should have also dropped down my stitch size for the ribbing, but I didn't. Why? Because I didn't have time to take the little and put the smaller needles in. And I thought, if I put smaller needles in, what if I run out of yarn? I was playing yarn chicken by the end of it. I think the amount I had left at the end was just, it was like a tiny little nubbin of a ball. It was not a lot, and I haven't even been able to do anything except, well, I'll tell you what I did with the yarn scraps, and it'll show you how little yarn there was. So that was my book vest. I really liked my book vest. It's come out really well. I'm just happy with it all around. But if I could get more of this yarn, it's Cascade Merino from Skeins and Napier, I will make it sleeves. And then I've got a book jersey but I'm not sure there's going to be any more of that yarn. I may have bought it all to start with. So that's my book vest. I will be wearing it at the National Shakespeare Festival in the upcoming weekend, so there may be more pictures. There's a couple of things I'll try and change about it before then. I don't have time. Anyway, what else did I make this month? Oh, is this a granny square bag that I'm holding? Yes, I made this granny square bag. Now, I did buy a whole stack of the Granny All-in-One yarn. I can't remember whether or not my yarn haul is posted online by now or not, but I bought a whole stack of this yarn. I got one ball of this orange, which, by the way, I hated for such a long time, but as soon as it became a bag, I don't mind the fact that this colour here I don't like, or that this is a mustardy yellow. I actually quite like it. I think the whole thing's quite kitsch and I enjoy it. You may notice that the orange that stitches it all together doesn't match. Why doesn't it match? Because I'm not organised. Well, that, and I can't get the red heart acrylic. So these stitches between my granny squares are the leftover bits of orange yarn from my book vest. That is it. There was not enough to do the straps, so the straps was the original yarn I was going to use on my book vest, and it's just double-stranded so that I've got a bit more heft in those straps. So they're woolen straps, it's woolen bits connecting it, so it's less than ideal, but I had one ball of this. This used 13 squares out of the 15 squares that I got from the Granny All-in-One yarn ball. So I thought that was quite good. Well, what I am going to do is take the two leftover squares and make a lining and put a little zipper on it and have like a little zipper pouch that can go in here, because let's face it, the yarn holes aren't necessarily the greatest for having in a bag, because things can fall through. But doesn't it look cute? So far I haven't dropped anything through it, but that's because so far I haven't carried anything that could slip through it, because I'm not an idiot. I am an idiot. What else have I been working on? If you've been watching my shorts, it's been the Amiguru-May projects. There's been 30 of them this month. No, 31, 30, 30, 30, oh, 30 days. I'm not even sure at this point. I'm still working on one because it's not quite the end of the month, but I'm not going to be here at the end of the month exactly to film this. So there's a couple more days to go. I am working on a penguin, but I am running out of yarn. I'm playing yarn chicken on that. And I do have a bear project that I need to get working on, and I'm working on a rainbow sock, but the rainbow sock bit just happens every time I hop in a car, really, to be completely honest. So of my yarn projects, the Amiguru-May ones that I thought I'd show you highlights rather than stand here with all the ones I've made, the first highlight, this stingray, and you'll be saying, why is this ugly stingray a highlight for you? Well, to be honest, the ugly stingray, I saw crocheted stingrays on the internet and I was like, oh, I'm a crochet stingray, but I couldn't find a pattern. And then I did find a pattern and I sort of read the pattern, but then I didn't think about it for another week, and so when I came back to make the crochet stingray, I couldn't find the pattern again. I was like, oh, how hard can it be? I basically, other than looking at a picture of a stingray and reading a pattern once, I just made it up as I went along. Is it the best pattern in the world? No, it is not. But it taught me that I'm actually that was a chicken. It's not, it's the dog. So yes, there's his butt in the shelter belt. It taught me that I actually am learning a lot about crochet over this project, and Amiguru-May has really helped my crochet a long way. So he was just a sign that I know what I'm doing a little bit more than I thought I did. And he was really early in the month. Another project that I'm quite proud of, I'll finish on that one. This is my loaf cat. Nearly gave him a butt, but then I didn't. Why am I proud of this loaf cat? I'm proud of the loaf cat because this is the leftover honey bunny yarn that I had. Now, this honey bunny yarn I bought to make Harry the puppy. I made Harry the puppy. You would have seen him in last month's video, I think, or at least one of the Amiguru-May videos during the month. Now, Harry the puppy, I bought the yarn according to the pattern, and then there was some leftover yarn. I didn't know what to do with the leftover yarn, so I thought, oh, there's not much of it, so I can't really use it on a lot. I made a chicken nugget, gave that away. I made a hash brown out of this brownie colour there, and then I made this loaf cat because I looked at it, I thought there's enough yarn to almost make a loaf cat, and if I use the one that I had less of as stripes, that's going to use up the yarn quite nicely. So I sort of guesstimated where to put the stripes. I kind of got it a bit wrong. I should have had an extra stitch there on that last stripe. But I made the loaf cat, and he's quite cute, and I'm just proud of the fact that he used up yarn. His name is Elliot or Oliver, mainly because my auntie Maureen always has ginger cats, and they're always called Elliot or Oliver. One T.S. Eliot, and I can't remember why Oliver's the other name for a cat, but she's always had ginger cats, so I think I might give her this. And then the last one that I'm particularly proud of, and this one I did for a couple of reasons. This is Miss Strawberry Jerboa. It's supposed to be one of those ones that turns inside out, but I didn't make the turning inside out part. I've signed up for the Hobie Projectarian Cal. You will have seen the unboxing by now of the Cal projects, but I thought what I should do is actually make one of Projectarian's crochet patterns so that I can get an idea of how she thinks and works and that sort of thing. So I made this Jerboa. Now this Jerboa was so many challenges. It took me so long, mostly because I did not use the yarn that she recommended. I just wung it. So this is smaller than her pattern would have had, as well as I didn't do the turn into a strawberry thing. I did the stuff it like it's a stuffy. So what did I learn from doing this? Some really cool little things, like the way her hands and feet are shaped is quite unique. Heavy on the stitch markers. She also recommended having a running stitch or a running piece of yarn scrap to mark the beginning and end of your row. I ended up having to abandon that. I just couldn't make it work. I bought the fur yarn as part of the tester to give it a go, because she was doing a whole year of working in fur. This was such a challenge of a nightmare of a challenge to crochet with the fur, but it's come out really lovely. I think the eyes are a little bit dodge, but we're not going to talk about it. If we look at the ears, they're two different yarns, because I had this yarn, but these ears were such a yarn eating project, 42 stitches around for them, so I used up all of this ball of yarn, and I was like, oh no, I'm out of yarn. So I used this ball of yarn scraps, and I was like, oh no, I used up all of that as well. So I'm quite out of white wool yarn. They're also, while they're the same size yarn and the same size hook, they're slightly different in size. Now that just came down to the fact that this yarn has more stability, like it's a tighter ply, and this one was just this one's Fate merino from Skeins. It's beautiful, and I will use this as many times as I can, and it stands up so nicely for Amiguru-May. This one is also a merino. I think it's a Southlander merino, but it's definitely longer and bigger stitches on the same size hook, but it doesn't have the same structure when it's knitted, but it's stiffer when you feel it. So, you know, some weird things going on there. I like his little tail. His little tail is very cute. Overall, he's kind of like that fugly. He's ugly cute. He's something. But you're a good boy. I really do love his feet. I was going to do them in pink like her pattern had, but I didn't have any pink yarn left because I've been making a lot of pink projects for my niece. And then I started doing it orange for the limbs, and I ordered some browny, orangey, mustardy fur like this, but in the browny, orangey, mustardy colour. But the order got cancelled, so I think they were just sort of showing too many on their website, and I ended up only being able to get one ball of this fur, and so it doesn't quite have the colour pop that I was after. So I abandoned the original feet and arms that I made. But one day, if I get some more fur, I might turn them into a Jerboa. So that's everything I knit and crochet in the month of May. Actually, I got it wrong. I also made this scarf, and I did this in one evening with one ball of yarn. I made this Rottweiler, which I'm incredibly proud of, and gave it away to a winner at work. And I made this hat, which also only took about 2 nights. I didn't actually think there was too much for a while there, but it's turned into a 15-minute video. What am I doing in June? Well, I have a blanket that I need to knit for a friend of mine, so a lot of June is going to be blanket knitting. I have the Projectarian Cal that I signed up for, so there's going to be some crocheting of the underwater tails. I do need to finish the penguin for my brother-in-law. I would like to work on a a granny square cardigan for my niece, for no reason other than I think it would just look cute to make a tiny one. I'd like to finish my rainbow socks, but we shall see how we go. There's so many projects on the go. I'm trying to be sensible about how many I keep floating around while we are in the middle of winter. But let's be completely honest, I am not sensible under any stretch, way, shape, nor imagination. I think I've got a box sitting in my room of just yarn for projects that I would like to get done next. I have to not buy yarn. In saying that, I need to get some more black for the penguin project where I'm playing yarn chicken, because I am going to lose yarn chicken. Yarn emotional support chicken. Maybe that's why you're an emotional support chicken. You are my emotional support for when I'm playing yarn chicken. That makes sense. All right, this video has definitely gone on long enough. Rocky's having the time of his life barking at the strawberries, because why wouldn't he? And I will catch you next week. Bye.